Oops. Well, good morning, everyone. And every day we rise, it's a great day to be alive on this Monday morning. And here we are. I'm James Slim Overton, and I'm here with co-host Leah Drake Stitt. And the Colonel
Right.
internet is down, so hopefully he'll be able to join us before we go off the air today. But welcome to Portsmouth Coffee Talks morning show.
Good
And
morning.
good morning, Leah.
Good morning.
As I always say, one of the busiest, like they used to say about James Brown, the hardest working person in show business.
Oh,
Leah is the busiest uh, person in the city of Portsmouth and surrounding cities. So, but that's been a part of her nature, and it's a lot of people in the city of Portsmouth that are really dedicated to making sure that they support different activities that go on, especially in our schools and our students. And and Leah will talk about an event she went to. One of the many I don't know how she fits so many things in one weekend. It's just 24 hours of a day, but she finds time to accept all invitations that come her way, especially when it comes to
that's one
supporting
of our
students.
children.
Even when she not feeling well, had lost her voice, but she found a way to make it through. Before she tells you about that, I made a visit Friday to Victory Elementary School, the Star-based STEM program over there. And if you get a chance, go to our YouTube page and look at the interview. Had a conversation with two teachers of the program. I think it's about 6 total, but they always need teachers just like everywhere else. Miss Walker and Miss Brewster, two of the teachers in that program. Very good conversation, and I had a tour for those who are unfamiliar with the Star-based program. It is really amazing. I know Leah's familiar with it,
Yes.
and also had a chance to talk to the executive director, Lisa Hood, who is who is a retired engineer from the shipyard, and now
Mhm.
she gives her time to Victory Elementary as the executive director of the board. Because when they first started out, they had federal fund support in Norfolk, but since they moved it over to Portsmouth, they had to rely on private funds. So they created a board whose responsibility many boards to raise funds. So just go over there and look at the video if you haven't, if you're not as familiar with the Star-based Victory STEM program. Amazing program that deals with the 4th grade, 5th grade, and 6th grade students throughout the city. And elementary, Victory Elementary is the base of it. They still are elementary school, but a certain section of the school is dedicated to the Star-based program, and they're outgrowing that. So hopefully, they can raise enough funds to be have a self-standing building because of all the different projects. So they bring students from each one of the elementary schools
Mhm.
for 4 days and deal with different programs as far as the science, technology, and what is it? Science, technology,
Math.
and math and
Uh-huh.
engineering.
Engineering. Mhm.
And they have and each grade deals with one section. So the 4th graders might deal with science, and 5th graders deal with another one, and then the 6th grades. So they go all around. So everybody gets an opportunity to be a part of the program. Wonderful program. So, and they need your support physically at any of their functions and financially to continue what they're doing, because They get some funds. They are included in the budget, the city budget. They get some funds from that and statewide, and they're expecting a little bit more from the state this year. But they pretty much depend on corporate sponsorships and whatever donations you can make. So support this great program. Lee, I don't know if there's anything you want to say about it. You
Well, I want to
attended
say
that gala they had.
they had a wonderful gala at the casino. Was it about a week ago? My time
Mhm.
just seemed to fly by, but it was a beautiful event, and they had an astronaut to actually come to give the presentation to the youth. And it was really a wonderful affair where they can actually see. He showed pictures of when he was out of space and when he was with the cosmonauts, and so such a great and enriching program that we have for our kids, and it is one that truly needs to be supported by those in the community. It was really a wonderful affair.
Yes, and a lot of one of the I guess you would say famous students that remember passing through that program was Delegate Darius Clark,
Yes,
and
yes,
he's come back and made a video uh, talking about his experience coming through there. So even though you come through there and you deal with the science, technology, engineering, and math, it even that can take you through to other areas of your life, because one thing, it creates critical thinking in our young kids. You
yes,
know,
it
to
does.
give them the opportunity to really use their mind. And we had a discussion. If you look at the video, we talked a little bit about the comparison between the SOL still have to be a part of the curriculum there, but this is added a plus to giving the students an opportunity to use their mind and use that creativity that all young kids have coming through life. And it gives them opportunity to choose something early in life that, or find out where their strengths are. You know, sometimes you never know who the great mathematician might be unless they're exposed to, advanced math problems and things like that. Leah, I know you can remember one of the things that you talked about, critical thinking, being able to use your mind. I don't
Exactly.
know if they word problems. You remember word problems?
Yes, indeed.
I used to kind of hate them, but it really made you think, because it would be anybody who doesn't know about word problems, it would be a word, a paragraph, or maybe sometimes two, and half the information in that word problem you didn't lose, because you would have to look at that paragraph and try to figure out an equation from the information they were giving you.
An equation. Yes, yes.
And some of the stuff that didn't have anything to do, it might say, well, a train travels down the track at 5 miles an hour, and its destination is 10 miles away. How would something like that? And you would have to figure it out. I used to hate them, but we had to do it. And
Yes, we did.
it really opened up your mind trying to figure out what's the best.
What's
How do I pick
important?
out in this
Yeah,
sentence?
what's important and what's not important in the
Right, right,
in the
right.
equation. Yes,
What
yes,
was just a part of information, and what was vital to you figuring out the problem. So I don't
exactly.
know if they still do that. Do you know if they still have
I
word
don't
problems?
think so. I really don't think so. I've not seen it, so I can't say whether they do or not, but I've not seen it.
Well, I would think the STEM program is probably the closest to what word problems did for us. Opening
Right,
up your
right.
mind and making you really think, uh, as opposed to picking A, B, and C. You know what they say? Those A, B, and C things. You just go down and you can guess half of them.
That's right. That's right. And usually it's a pattern. Once you learn the pattern, you have it down pat.
Yes, indeed. Something else I wanted to mention too, Leah. We talked about it before we came on air.
Excuse
Like
me.
you came on air about a lot of people don't realize all the good things that our students are doing in the city of Portsmouth and throughout Hampton Roads in general, because you don't really get the recognition. It's a lot of people that know what's going on, but it's a lot of other people that don't know, because you know talk about, I'll just go to, you went to, I always talk about you going to everything, but if students are involved, you'll make a way, whether you're feeling good or not. And I
Exactly.
think it's important to support. And you went to the ROTC ball.
Yes, the NJROTC ball. It was a fabulous event on last Friday. I had pretty much lost my voice. I was drinking medicine balls all day long, hoping to regain my voice because I was the guest speaker for the evening. But these young people, the NJROTC at Norcom, under the guidance of CWO Redwood and CPO Covington, not being military, I got to make sure I get these things right. Uh, they have done an amazing job with these young people. These cadets put together the entire program for the evening, and it felt like a military affair because everything was set to a certain time. At this time they did this, at this time they did this, but it went over so well. And to see the young men and women doing the waltz, that was part of the program that they had. Miss Efat did a great job teaching them the waltz. They had a runway competition that the girls competed in. They had Miss Juneteenth USA, who was one of the judges for the runway competition. And then they did a thing that they called knockout, where Mr. Senyoto, he called out various commands, and they had to follow the commands. And he may have called 4 or 5 commands at one time, and they had to follow through on those commands. And if they failed, then they were knocked out. They had to
Mm.
sit down. So it was really a great affair. I spoke to the students on the relationship between the dream of Mr. Norcom and the what the NJROTC is teaching them, and how if they listen and if they learn the dream of Mr. Norcom, they follow the teachings of the NJROTC, then they will become those productive citizens that Mr. Norcom often spoke about providing an education for boys and girls where they will become great citizens, and give back to the community and live the abundant life. And it was truly, to see young men and women when they speak to you, it was always yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, may I help you, ma'am? What do you need? I mean, it was just such an enriching afternoon to see these young people and the kindness which was shared. One young lady, Miss Angel Brimley, had won the queen. They crowned a king and a queen, and Angel is a senior at IC Norcom. She was also one of our IC Norcom notables. She was crowned the queen, but because one young lady wanted it so badly, she got up and gave her crown to that young lady. I thought that was the kindest gesture that an individual could do. But it was a great evening with music and food, and the principal was there, Miss Sanders, and the vice principal, Dr. Smith, was present, and food by and it was just a wonderful affair.
Yeah, a great experience for them. And you mentioned about the waltz, and I can remember, being a debutante escort, and you were a
Yes,
debutante learning the waltz. And some people, you in some cases, you probably never use the waltz again, but it's just the experience of it. Just like when
exactly.
we used to talk about certain math, and I see Lewis Bracy agrees with me with the math and the word problems was the worst. Good morning, Lewis, and good morning, Conrad, for Virginia. Conrad, one of our guest hosts in the evenings, he's running for Congress, and we'll talk more about that next time he's on the show. But anyway, we used to talk about how when am I going to use algebra somewhere? And when you look at it now, if you have a plumber or electrician come to your house now, and you have opportunity to stand around them, you find out they're using that now. They just don't come in there with a wrench and or whatever they use, and do their job. Now, a lot of what they do is involves using their math
An
skills.
algebraic equation,
Especially,
yes.
especially if someone comes and works on an air condition, he has to know certain certain equations. Well, I don't know about equations, but he has to know certain math. He has to have certain math skills to be able to figure out, how big of the air conditioning needs to be to cover a certain square footage of the house and things like that. So all those things that we think are not necessary later on in life, they might come into play. So,
They come in handy.
yep. So don't complain about all that. So, well, you can complain about it, but just take it in. And later on in life, you might be able to use it. So you might use that waltz one day. You
You
might have
don't
to go
know.
to the White
You never
House and have to waltz.
know. You may make it into the movies, and then like Bridgerton, and you do the waltz
Yeah,
in the movie scene. So yeah, opportunities are there for you to use it. Believe me.
yeah. Look, I thought this was an interesting story. I saw Chesapeake, and you live in Chesapeake. One of the council members there, Don Curry, ex NFL player, by the way, but he's will challenge Mayor Rick West for the mayorship this year. But the interesting part of the story, he ran for the state house as a Republican. He's been a Republican, but he's switching parties in order to run against the mayor, run for mayor in the city of Chesapeake. Now, most of the cities are nonpartisan races, but it's important because these local races, you'll see the Democratic Party or the Republican Party supporting a slate of candidates. That does come into play in the local politics sometime. But it's interesting, that he's switching parties, and he said his reasons, um, that he has the support from Don Scott, Speaker of the House, and the Chesapeake Democratic Committee. So he's switching to get that report, get that support. But he also says he's making the switch after realizing the notions and values he thought Republicans stood for seem to no longer be the case. And you might be seeing some things that happening on the national level, but
Yes, it
you
is.
know, I would like to think that would be a big part of his reason for switching parties. I know it's important to get that support from the Democratic parties and a powerful person like Don Scott, Speaker of the House. But I thought that was kind of interesting, Leah. That's the city
Yeah.
you live in, and I guess he felt like it was an advantage for him to run as a Democrat, challenging the present mayor, Rick West.
Yeah, yeah. And as you said, you're seeing that a lot, even on the national scene, where a lot of the congressional people are actually leaving Congress and leaving Congress early because they feel as though the Republican Party no longer stands for the values that it was originally created for under that Reagan, uh, Bush, and McCain type of Republicans. They are leaving. They're jumping ship left and right, and two are leaving. One is leaving at a time period in which he will not even be able to be replaced because of the time in which he's running. So soon it will be only one person difference in the leadership in the House coming up in about a week or two. But as you said in Chesapeake, I'm really surprised. I mean, I'm not surprised that he's changing to become a Democrat, but I'm really would like to see what happens in Chesapeake. Chesapeake is heavily a Republican, so it's going to be interesting to see how he's going to make out. You say he was endorsed by Don Scott. Has been endorsed by the local Chesapeake Democratic Committee as well.
Yes, yes, that's what it's saying. Yeah,
Okay,
and I
so
don't know if he made that switch first. I probably have to read to see if that came up, and then they supported him, or did they approach him? Uh,
exactly,
I
exactly.
would want to think that the ideal thing is he made up his mind first before, and then seek the support of those two fashions.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
I mean, that would make me think that he's really true to what he's saying, or is it just a switch, you know, to his advantage? And if he gets in there, will he switch back
Will he
to
switch back?
Republican?
That's the problem right
Yeah.
there. So,
But
but
you
let's
know, and
hope
some people
these.
could look at it right away. It's just a political move, just to
Yeah,
make
yeah.
sure he has a leg up in running against, because
Mm,
not too many people have been able to defeat Rick West in the city of Chesapeake as
exactly.
mayor.
Well, let's hope he's doing it for the right reasons, and I'll have to
Yeah,
do some investigating on my end to see.
yeah, that's
Uh,
something we can follow and see how he goes forward with that. But you know,
exactly.
you mentioned about the national people, the people that are some of them are close to retiring Republicans, so they're saying they're not going to run again or they're going to back out. You know, I kind of wish they would be more vocal about their reason. You know,
Exactly.
to let
Exactly.
people know, because the voices you are hearing are, you know, the ones that are getting the most of the press that are supporting him. And you have to really do some research, or pay attention to what's going on to know about these people that are backing away, or not deciding not to run again, or backing away from uh, what they thought was the traditional um, Republican Party, but really now sort of a MAGA thing.
Well, some of those younger ones that are leaving Congress now. One is a young guy who's leaving. I'm trying to remember his name. I couldn't remember his name, but he expressed that he's leaving because it's not a functioning party anymore, and it was not what he signed up to become a part of. So he has spoken out as to why he's leaving the party at this time. So we should hear more from him. I think there are two more who are leaving soon.
Yeah,
So
hopefully people are listening to their reasoning and get, you
exactly.
know, because we still sit here and look at the chaos. Look at Margaret
Total chaos.
uh, Taylor Greene, you know, and see, this is something they brought upon themselves by changing that law where one person can challenge the speaker.
Exactly.
You know, just it's just so right now she's not getting the support she needs to carry it through. But you know, that shows you how easy it is to just, you know, I'm mad at you because you didn't vote this way, so all I have to one person can challenge it, and you get a few other votes, and that person is out. You know,
You're right. You're right. And she, I don't know how they made her a leader. I guess she made herself a leader, and then they tend to um follow through there with her. But I don't know. We're gonna see. At least I see that McCarthy came on board and told him. He said, "No, he said, hold your place." He said, "Because I don't think they're gonna do this twice." but But then too, the Democratic membership has to make a decision as to whether they would want to support him. Should she do that? And I think
yeah,
she knows that now because they can make that decision that they will support him. And if they support him and you have the moderate Republicans, he's not going anywhere. But at least then also the Democrats can also ask and make sure that he puts together that funding package for Ukraine and for um, Israel and for the West Bank and all of those other places. So we'll see which direction that heads in as well.
yeah. I mean, but it puts the whole house in turmoil because
It
you know
does.
if if they have to vote on whether he comes in or not, everything's held up. You know, then they can't do anything in the house.
Exactly.
And it's just another way to you know, and they just squeak by you know
By
approving
the skin
another
of their teeth.
yeah another bill by the skin
Funding
of the teeth.
bill.
I mean, I think they said for a little while the country was unfunded.
Yes, it
You
was.
know,
It was.
so and all kicking the can down the road like we talked about earlier. You know,
Yes, indeed. Yes,
it's
indeed.
amazing. I want to ask you about this, you know, and you know about Candace Owen. I've been seeing a lot about
Oh,
her this weekend. That since she lost the job that she had with the conservative show that she was on, and some people were saying should you know the term should she be invited to the cookout means should she be given her black card back? You know, and
I don't
some
think
people
she
have
earned that card back yet.
and she's starting to make those rounds on shows like the Breakfast Club and black media uh, shows that she didn't necessarily go to before this. So is she making her way? You know, and somebody said they could see her changing her tune a little bit because she's all about making the money. If she can't make it, because that was her job, really, she
Yes,
can't
yes,
make any money on that conservative station. You know, then she has to come back home. Like we've seen that happen many times. Like you know, the other young lady that was in the White House with Trump. Yeah.
yes. She's made such damaging remarks that I don't know. I think she'd have to have a lot of penance. I know I believe in forgiveness and all of those good things, but I think that she's going to have to show a little something because of some of the things she said has been so outrageous. Um, and in her support of the MAGA movement and all. So I don't think that's going to be an overnight change. That's going to be something that's going to have to take a little time to digest.
So that was fine. Whatever she was saying that putting down the black community and things like that was fine with the conservative until she
Exactly.
said something about the Jewish community.
Oh yeah,
As soon
yeah.
as she said that, you
That
out
was
of
it.
here,
You cut
and
her off.
that just shows you how uh, where we are. You know, as far as I mean, you're dispendable. You know,
That's
if
right. That's
you're
right.
African American, you're working on that side of the road.
That's right.
It doesn't take but one little thing. Oh, now you messed up now. You know, if you said something about the Jewish, you can say anything you want about, your own race, but you just said something about the Jews,
Well,
and
they want her to say something about her race, but they don't want her to say anything. As long as she's disparaging black folks, she's fine.
oh yeah,
You know,
she's the voice for what they don't have to say.
exactly.
What they say in private, and some of them now are saying in public, so they use people like her. But it'll be interesting to see how she's accepted back. She's already making the rounds on these. So my opinion, those shows shouldn't be accepting her on there. But controversy brings ratings to those shows. So
Exactly.
why
Exactly.
not bring her on? But what they're doing, they're validating her coming back to us because, like I said earlier, she never came on those shows before because she had her platform on the conservative side,
On the
and now
conservative
she doesn't
side.
have that. She wants to come back home.
That's the
I know
truth.
I would never accept
It'd have to take some prayer on my part, believe me,
her.
in order to bring her back into the fold. Think she's done a lot of damage, you know?
Yeah, too much, I may say. But, and some people say, because some of the things she said are kind of outlandish and some of them might be true, some of them might be some truth to it as far as the way we feel about things in our community. But, you just can't sit there and talk about and down things in our community. Okay, so what are you going to do? Or what are you doing to make it better? And I don't see
Exactly.
anything that she is doing or has
She's
done
done nothing
to
to
make
make it
it better
better.
except point out all uh, the, the bad things that we
Exactly.
can fill out in our community. And just like we were talking earlier, there's so many good things that are happening, especially with our future, our young students. And why can't you talk about that? Why can't you have some positive takes on what you're saying? She's trying to do that now on these black shows, but
I think it's a little too early to break to to pull her into the fold. I'm sorry.
yeah,
Yes,
well, she wouldn't make it to my cookout. I'll put it that way.
no, she wouldn't come to mine either, believe me.
Yeah.
But
So go ahead.
go ahead, James.
Now I was gonna say you were recuperating on our last show, and I know you saw it. About the city manager. You have an opportunity to get your take on that whole thing. I mean, it like we were saying, it is what it is because we send them there to represent us, and they make those decisions, and we have to live with it once they make it, but we don't have to live with it forever. You know,
Exactly,
we
exactly.
can every 4 years or every so often we can take the people out. So you have to pay attention to what's going on, but deal with what they we have to deal with the consequences of their votes and their actions while they're in office.
You're right about that, and we just I guess we're in a wait and see mode. It just seems to be something that happens in Portsmouth. Look like every year, every
Mhm.
year it seems for the past couple of years. So we'll just have to wait and see what the total package is for the new gentleman that they're bringing on board, and what he's requiring of the city in order to become the city manager, and see which directions they're going to take us in now. But as you stated, we're in the midst of the budget season, so it's going to be interesting to see what they're going to do as far as the budget is concerned at this time. But I'm pretty much in a wait and see mode to see what exactly is going to happen here. Where are we heading from here?
Yes, any way we can put a positive spin on this because it's one of the things we were asking for. We wanted some stability, and we wanted them to go ahead and make a decision on who the city manager would be. You know, whether it be Mimi or somebody from that national search. My only thing, like I mentioned that day, the timing of it, right in the middle of the budget uh, planning.
Mhm.
And I guess, but it had to be done at one point or another. But that's because that's what we were asking for.
Mhm. Mhm.
So, is there any kind of positive spin we can put on here? Just like people are complaining about bringing back Dr. Patton, but in between that, why wouldn't you bring back somebody that's already experienced in the budget planning system of Portsmouth, or have sat in that seat before, regardless of how you feel about it. Now, I'm just trying to find a positive spin
Trying to
because it,
find a
it is
spin.
what it is. So, how can we look at it in a positive way and going forward?
And those who asked also, why didn't they use the deputy city managers? We don't know. No one has told us why they have
Right.
not. They did not choose to use the deputy city managers. We don't know. Um, Also, I can say I know with Dr. Patton, I know this is something that she's been doing because she was recently in Petersburg as they were waiting to bring in their new city manager. So I don't know. I don't think we are given a lot of information. Something we need to really sit back and research before commenting on. You see the reasons why these things are taking place in the city of Portsmouth. So guess we're in a wait and see mode, and you just do your own research.
Yeah, because Colonel did make a good point that, if you have a deputy city managers or anybody that's under you, you should make sure that they are trained. Yeah, I think his example was if you fall down and break your hip and you have to be out for a while, that person has to be ready to step in
Exactly.
and carry on. And that's true. But a lot of cases, and I'm not saying this is the case here, a lot of people in a certain position are intimidated by letting somebody below them know too
What they
much
need to know in order to be
because
successful.
and that's the wrong attitude to have, but you do have people out there like that, and they will only uh, share so much. And like I said, I say again, I don't know or if that's the case, but even somebody that's well versed, that's second in command, sometimes they they still might not be ready. That's
Yes,
all I'm
yes.
saying. Even though you
And
show
and
them
I
everything.
and we don't know either. I just wish that there would be more conversations as to the rationale as to why decisions are made, um, because, we don't have the whole story. We don't
Yeah,
know the
and when
whole
you leave
story.
it up to speculation, we can
Exactly,
we can carry
exactly.
it a whole lot of different ways, and
You're right,
all you could all you
and
have
I've
to
been
do is
reading
look at. Go ahead.
reading a lot of stuff on social media, but,
Yeah, I
how
was going
much
to say
of it
that.
do you know to be true? And so I really think the conversation needs to be better between the leadership and the citizens. To be a little more transparent. This is the reasons why we're doing this, and we didn't use the deputy city managers because. you know,
because
uh, or
she
or
had only been in there a few months in that
exactly.
position,
Or
so.
is this part of the contract with the Berkeley Group that once we do this change, we bring a person in to do to hold the position down until the person comes in? We don't know any of those things. No one has really shared those
Yeah, I
things.
think that's been something that we've been talking about on Coffee Talk since our inception. That one thing, well, I know I've always talked about it. You know, even when you make votes, it's certain things you can't talk about, personnel or something like that. But when your elected official make votes, please explain why we still might not agree with it, but at least we know why you voted that way. Don't make votes or make big moves and then, come back 3 weeks later and say, let me explain why we did that. By that time, all the assumptions are out there, and whether they are true or not, and then people, in some cases, don't want to hear it. But you know,
Exactly.
you're exactly right, Leah. Just talk to us. Tell us, okay, this is why this didn't happen. So, and
Exactly.
and I think you can move in more positive direction when you kind of explain your
Hmm.
actions as you're going along, and then not having to play defense once you
All the
made
time. That's
those
right.
actions and a few months have gone by and people still trying to figure out, well, why, you know, it started way back with Angel Jones. All we wanted to know, okay, well, why are you making this move? Well, what was the
Exactly. What
real
purpose?
reason? And then
Yeah.
we had to wait 2 or 3 weeks for you to explain this is why we felt like we had to make that move. No,
After
but
all the information flowed on social media.
yeah,
You know, so
yeah. And by that time, nobody wanted to hear it. We don't
exactly.
believe you. Why didn't you say it then? You could have made those statements that night when people were enraged,
Exactly.
or want to know why you made that decision.
Mhm, mhm.
They still might not have agreed, but at
But at
least
least they
you
know why.
let us know.
You have the chain of communication is open, and that's one thing I don't think we do very well in Portsmouth, and that's communicating with the people about what decisions are made and why they're being made. So I like to see a little more transparency by leadership.
Yeah,
A little more
I
trans.
think transparency equals trust in
Exactly.
most cases. A lot of people
Exactly.
trust, or at least they understand why you are making those moves. So I'm gonna try to remain optimistic that hopefully this move and hopefully the new city manager comes in since it was a national search. I saw some things where he hadn't been where he is a long time, but he's been several other places leading up to that position, in leadership positions. So I'm gonna try to remain optimistic that maybe this will be something. At least he tried to. He's gonna make sure you're not gonna fire me within 6 months without having to pay the piper.
He said,
So
"Well, well, listen, we fired others and we paid the
yeah,
piper
yeah,
anyway, so it doesn't
well,
make any difference." So
have a good reason, but
we
you
we,
know, I
we
guess we
continue
have
to
no
pay the
problem
piper in
paying
Portsmouth.
out.
Yes, indeed. But James, let's get on a good note on this last half hour. And we got a
Okay.
little more than a little more than a half hour, do we?
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
no.
yeah, about
Okay,
20 minutes.
let's talk about some of the good things that are going on during the spring break. Our kids are getting out of school um, next week, is it?
Mm,
And there are a couple of programs going on for our youth. I was trying to find about Carlton Copeland's Peace Camp. I was trying to look while we were on. I don't know, but I know usually he does that Peace Camp at the Cavalier Manor Center,
mhm,
where the young people register, and he have speakers to come in to talk to the kids. They have activities for the kids, and culminating with a big day in the Cavalier Manor field for the kids with food and it's almost like a tailgate. So I don't see it online, but I may have just missed it. But he usually has. You can contact Carlton Copeland to find out about the Peace Camp at Cavalier Manor Center, as well as I understand the Big Homies is having a camp also for young people, a spring break camp. His place is on Elliott Avenue. You can contact Big Homie if you need some place for your children to go during the day, um, and provide structured activity because during the spring break, there's going to be a lot of unstructured activity, and we need our kids in structured programs while they're out of school. And so please check those programs out. I know that the IC Norcom class of 1996 is having a Easter egg hunt on the 30th, and it's going to be in Chesapeake. But you can contact them, go online, and get the information on the Easter egg hunt that they're going to have on the 30th of this month. But go online and find some of the positive programs that are going on for children in the community, and so that your children can be involved in those events. I know that IC Norcom is having a job fair on the 27th, starting at 5 o'clock. I'm sure that Miss Keita Armand, who is the parent liaison, if you have a company that's hiring and you'd like to be a part of the job fair, contact Keita Armand and let her know that you want to be a part of the job fair. And if you're looking for a job, that's for youth as well as adults. Come out to the job fair and see those individuals who are presenting jobs for individuals, and come out and sign up. And maybe you too can get a job if you're unemployed or if you're trying to change employment. Uh, so let's look at some of the great things. I always try to keep positive events on my page so that we can see some of the good things that are going on in the schools as well as with our youth. Uh, I know the Norcom students are going to the Wizards game on the 27th, and that should be exciting. They are going to go up to Washington, and the Wizards are playing the Nets, so they'll get to see Dorian Finney. And Dorian Finney, a great IC Norcom graduate, and they're going to have a picture session time with Dorian Finney. So that should be another great positive event for our kids, and they can see some good things that are going on, as opposed to always sharing all of the bad things that are going on in the community. So um, there are a lot of good things going on. April, IC Norcom is going to have a college fair. They're going to have all of I think it's April 25th, if I'm not mistaken, but you can check with Miss Keita Armand. And that's going to be an event where they're going to have the various colleges at the college fair is this month. I'm sorry. And the job fair, let me just be sure. But those events are coming up this month, where they're going to have the various colleges participating, as well as the Divine Nine will be participating to give the kids a feel for what it's like on a college campus with the steppers and all of those other things. That little sideshow that we have on college campuses. So there's some great things going on in the community, and I would hope that we will support these activities that are taking place in our community, and finding a good place for our kids. The job fair is this month on the
Mhm.
27th, and the college fair is on the 25th of April. So come out and support these events that are taking place in our community, and make sure you bring your children out as well.
As the person I used to listen to every morning, Joe Madison used to always say, "What are you going to do about it?" And
Exactly.
I'll put this challenge out to all those people that, excuse me, that feel a need to put all this information on social media, excuse me, about children don't have anything to do. Okay, and a lot of those people don't have children that are school age, but you can be involved. Find out what's going on. You heard all these different activities Leah mentioned, and it's a lot more than that. And be a volunteer. Be a part of the
Exactly.
solution rather than sitting at your computer talking about the kids don't have anything to do. The percentage of these kids that are involved in the wrongdoing are very small. Of course, they get a lot of attention. They
A lot of
should be.
attention.
They should get it, because we should know what's going on in that area. But you should get you can be a part of it. All these groups need volunteers, and a lot of people
Exactly.
don't know that the police department holds a camp every year, every
Ex-
summer,
Now I have
and
to
our
call
civic league
them.
sponsors children, it costs a certain amount. So you can sponsor as a citizen a child that might not be able to afford to go there. Our Civic League sponsors someone one every year to go to that camp. And I think we did it twice in a year. And that student came back and talked about his experience, and he appreciated the opportunity. So we can be a part of what's going on, because we
Exactly.
are so quick to sit down and complain about, and that piles up. And you think you're doing justice by complaining or pointing out certain uh, the things that are going on in our city that is not right. One thing, you have the power to vote. A lot of you don't vote. You know,
Exactly.
we getting in Portsmouth, we getting like 20 to 40% of our population voting. And all you that don't vote, you need to just shut up, or
Exactly.
get out
Exactly.
there, like I just said, and be volunteers, and try to make it better.
Hmm.
We can do our part. Now, as far as the people we elect, you know, we have that power too. And when
Hold
we
them
elect them,
accountable.
and
Hold
they
them
turn on
accountable.
us or they change once they're in there, we just have to make sure we don't give them another opportunity to do the same thing. But
Exactly.
we can be positive here in the city of Portsmouth. I mean,
We can be. And and I'm hoping, James, also, thanks to Senator Louise Lucas, we had two Norcom students to be pages this year. And also, if I'm not mistaken, I think Melvin Carton's son was also a page this year.
mhm.
So, I mean, there are some good things that are taking place for our young people. And I think that we need to highlight more of the great things and the good things that are taking place for the young people, and to dispel this rumor that only negative things are happening with our kids. There are a lot of good things, and a lot of kids are doing some great things, and we really need to highlight these young people. That's why I make it an effort to be at anything that anyone invites me to that involves young people, because I just want to encourage them to stay on the right track. You don't have to fall into the abyss of the craziness that's going on in the community. And just come out and support our children when they're doing the right things, and prayerfully through our supporting them and spreading the word about the good things that are going on with our youth, then in turn we will have more kids who would like to follow the directions in which they're going, because they're seeing that they're getting a lot of times people just want to be highlighted, they want to be seen. So if I can't be seen in a positive way, I'm going to do something negative and you're going to see me anyway. So let's highlight the positive things that are going on in the community, as well as the positive things that are taking place with our children.
Yeah, especially with spring here now, and more people will be outside, and the opportunities to be doing things outside at the city park, or going to the children's museum, or just interacting with each other outside in our communities. And speaking of community, we're coming up on 105 years of the Truxton
Yes,
neighborhood.
yes.
Activity. It'll be a weekend of activities, and we're going to have Chester on the show to talk more about it, probably the first part of next month. And that's something that you might want to bring your students to as well, because the history of Truxton is an intriguing one, if
It
you don't
is.
know
It is.
about it. And it's 105 years coming
And I
up.
And I think this year they're not charging this year because everything is gonna take place outdoors. Is that what I'm hearing?
Everything's gonna be on the field. So he'll come and talk about how we'll need sponsors and things like that in order to put this together. But the participant, they already have a list of people who will be honored, and we're just gonna go from there. So he'll be on probably the first part of next month, and talk about all the different plans, and get it out to people that are away, that grew up in Truxton, can come back, and those that didn't grow up in Truxton or don't know about the history of Truxton can come back. And so it's going to be a parade, and a weekend at the Truxton Old Elementary site field, and hopefully the weather will hold up. Well, we are I think the last time was kind of successful too. I remember being out there on the field. Doesn't seem like it's been 5 years.
It doesn't seem like it at
That was the
all.
100 years, so 105 years. So look forward to that
And also,
activity coming up.
James, I know he's going to come on, but I know he's seeking out those individuals who are 75 and older because he wants them to get together to have a conversation. So I can't wait for him to come on so that he can share all the plans that he has for the reunion, the Truxton reunion. Should be a
Yeah,
great affair.
and I think he'll be doing a documentary of all that whole weekend to be out there for everyone to
Right.
see. So it's going to be a grand affair. So I had to bring that up, because you know I might be a little biased because I grew up in the area, but you can't deny the historic significance of the Truxton neighborhood, why it was formed, and how it survived, during some crazy times. But
Exactly.
a
Exactly.
self-sustaining neighborhood. So so we look forward to that. Look forward
Yes.
to that.
Oh,
That's a
and
part
Key
of it.
Westlew, I'm gonna get that emergency and some warm honey. I promised you. Get some more medicine balls today. So try to get this body back to where it needs to be. But thank you so very much for offering your assistance and helping me to feel a little better. So thank you so very much. I think I passed it on to James now. He started coughing. But I'll say
Yeah,
this
I
is
mean, it's come through the screen. There's
I
something,
know.
something's going.
Also, this is Passion Week. Passion Week, folks, when we are preparing for Resurrection Sunday. There are a lot of activities that are going on at various churches. I suggest that you see one that you would like to participate in. And as we prepare for um, Resurrection Sunday. Uh,
Yes.
so this is Passion Week. So that's and prayerfully during this Passion Week, people will become nicer to each other and let it carry over, not only during this week, but carry over throughout the year and the years to come. So kindness is big on my list right now. Of how we need to behave towards each other.
Yep, and I guess when the summer comes up, because I was always impressed by the Sunset Thursdays that we
Yes,
have in the city of Portsmouth. It's been going on for a long time, and I remember I did a thing about Tale of Two Cities. Going to that and seeing all the different people of Portsmouth, the diverse crowd out there, and just being friendly to each other. And it just didn't match up with what I was seeing on people's comments on social media.
exactly.
How can we be talking like that on social media about our city? And then you go to a Sunset Thursday event and everybody's out there showing love and friendship and to each other. And it's just a comfortable environment,
It
you know,
is.
and to see the opposites of, and then people get home and get behind the computer and say,
And say all
this is the
kinds of
worst
negative
city in the
things.
world.
That
But
is very true.
but
But I
most of
think
us grew up here.
yeah, exactly. So I would hope that we would start highlighting some of the on social media. Let's get away from the negativity and let's get into the positive arena.
Yeah. And Leah, there are conversations that need to be had, and we have
Yes,
them here
yes,
on Sportsman Coffee Talk. But I think, one of the things, or a lot of the things that we do good here, we handle, we deal with a variety of subjects, and we try to give people their flowers, you
exactly.
while they're
Exactly.
here, and that's one of the shows I really appreciate when we have some of the people on it and we put it on tape and it's there forever.
Exactly.
Uh, appreciate showing our appreciation to their dedication to their their teaching field or whatever they did in technology or whatever they did to sometime most of the time unselfishly giving back to the community. So uh, and in those tough subjects that we have,
Exactly.
we'll
Exactly.
cover those too. Those
And
conversations are
so,
necessary.
so we must encourage them to go back, go to YouTube, subscribe and like and you can go back and watch any of the shows that you may have missed. They're all there, so you can go back and check out Portsmouth Coffee Talk on YouTube.
Yeah, and let us know also if you want to be a guest and you want to promote your your activities, or especially if it's activities involving our students. You know, we really encourage you to come on and so we can share that information. There's a lot of good things going on out there. As I talked about the Star Base and you mentioned Big Homies, they mentioned that they have a partnership or relationship with Big Homies as well, because they do a lot of technical things over there on Elliott Street where they are located. So they come together and do some things together. So it's just getting those kids and expanding their minds and giving them something to
Exactly.
do. Yeah.
Give them something positive to do, you know?
Mhm.
Keep them busy in a positive way.
Yep. And including the sports as well. You know, that's a part of what they do. You know, because you have to keep them. You have to uplift them physically and mentally,
Exactly. Exactly.
so they won't be broken down like us when they. No, I just joking.
Well,
But anyway, we coming down to the end of the show, and we hope Colin will have his internet back up by the time we come on Thursday, and we'll let you know what's going to happen Thursday as far as our show is concerned. But we appreciate all the people that came on, and who is Black Tamarin San Diego? Do you know who that is, Leah?
what's that now?
I'm looking at the someone watching Black Common San Diego. Does that mean they are watching from San Diego?
It must mean that. That's one thing that I find, James, and when I went to the coldest night of the year walk, and they people came up to me from outside of the area who said that they watched the show. So we don't often see people's names or their comments on the page when we have the show, but a lot of people mentioned to me that they're watching the show. So we want to thank them, even though they're not putting their names out there or hitting whatever the like buttons and all of that. But we just want to thank everyone who come on and watch. And we do have a lot of people watching from outside of the Hampton Roads area, so that
Yeah,
may be someone from San Diego who's watching. So want to
yeah,
thank them for coming on and watching.
yeah. Thank you. And a lot of them don't always watch live because we are on
Exactly,
live, but they watch the rebroadcast of our show on YouTube or on Facebook. So
exactly,
encourage
exactly.
you to do that.
So
Yeah,
we're
thank
we're
you.
all about trying to bring positive information here on Portsmouth Coffee Talk to share the good things that are going on in our community and with individuals within our community. So we hope that you will continue watching, and as James said, and if you want to be a guest, get in contact with James. He is our head honcho, and he will get your information so that we can bring you on and you can share the information of the great things that you're doing. Because I'm just thankful for these young authors that we've met recently. It's really
Yeah,
exposing me to a lot of people who we probably would not have met, you know. um, I would really like to have Miss Teresa Cox Ford to come on from Toddler Town, because they are, and in fact, if we can do remote there, the amazing things that they're doing with those babies at Toddler Town. She and her team, I mean, they are really raising up scholars. And as I stated, those babies are leaving there, they're reading, they're very polite. And I just wish that it can continue on once they get into public schools, the great things that she's teaching those kids. So I would really like to have her on one day and her team to come on and talk about all the good things that they're doing at Toddler Town. Teresa Cox Ford, thank you for what you do. I had an opportunity to read to the babies during Women in History Month, and it was just such a, from the time you walk in the door, it's such a great experience. So if you need
yeah.
a
I
place for
mean,
your babies, contact Teresa Cox Ford, Toddler Town. They are
yeah.
doing some
So
wonderful things.
class act operation now,
It
and
is.
I think that they'll be having a graduation coming up soon. So
Yes.
hopefully we can cover that. But I'll contact her and try to get her to come on. We've been talking. And I'll let people know that our Civic League meets in their building every first Tuesday. You know, we used to meet at Nova Street, and then when COVID came, we couldn't meet in there anymore. We never did go back, but they offered their building for us, and we've been meeting there ever since. Every first Tuesday of the month, our Civic League, Wilson Ward Gospel Civic League meets there, and we usually have a full house every meeting. And I think it's partly due to the facility, and we do feed after every meeting. That might help too. But
Bring,
you
bring
know,
food and we'll
but
come.
they just volunteer their place for us to meet there, and they're community minded as well as creating opportunity for those young minds that they get, and they get them real young. You know,
They do.
and
They
you know
do.
you have to have patience. You're dealing
Yes,
with,
indeed.
and then the parents have to trust you with
Exactly.
their children that young.
Uh-huh.
And
Well, sir, I think we're at the bewitching hour.
yes, we're at the end, and thank you for coming on, and hope you continue to improve health wise. But I know that won't stop you from whatever comes up. You can mention the next award
Oh yeah,
event
yeah, yeah. That's right.
that you are
That's
part of.
April 13th, the Black Child Development Institute. I will be getting a community service award from the Black Child Development Hampton Roads Black Child Development Institute, and it's still time to get tickets if should you like to come. If you go
Yeah.
on Hampton Roads Black Child Development Institute, you can go online and purchase tickets if you'd like to be there. It is an amazing organization that advocate on behalf of our children. It's a scholarship fundraiser that they're having, and I hope that you will take the opportunity to participate. Come out and support Hampton Roads Black Child Development Institute. They're doing great things in the Hampton Roads area.
So that's and they operate throughout Hampton Roads, all
Yes,
the
they do.
7 cities.
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
And that's on the 13th of April. As I stated, they have extended the ticket sale purchase until April 1st. April 1st will be
Okay,
the last day that you can get tickets.
okay. It sounds like Bella wants to go out
I
right
think
now.
Bella is
Either she wants to
celebrating.
go out or she has something to say. Do you think she has something to say that?
She says, I usually have my breakfast about this time, and you haven't given it to me yet.
Oh, okay. That's what she has to say. Yes.
Yes.
Time to eat. Okay, thanks everybody. We appreciate you, and remember to like, subscribe, comment, and we really need look for your comments. You know, on how we doing. And like I said, always say we have thick skin, so just comment any way that you feel like you want to comment about our shows, what we need to do, what we can do to improve, what we can do, or what you like about the shows. We look forward to that too. And please share it with your friends and family. And we'll see you next time. And be aware, be informed, and as always, be involved. Make sure you get out there and vote. Take care, everybody. See you, Leah.
Take care. Have a great day, everyone. Have a wonderful week.